अस्सलाम वालेकुम। अस्सलाम वालेकुम। वेलकम टू बेगम बेगम। नहीं नहीं, खुश आमदीद। खुश आमदीद। मैं और भी उर्दू के लफ्ज जानती हूँ, उसमें अपना शेवा, शेवा का लफ्ज मैं समाज की दीवार, इस तरह के लफ्ज मुझे भी आते हैं, मैं वो वाले भी यूज करना चाहती हूँ, मुझे जगह ढूंढनी है उनके लिए स्पेशल। और जरासीम उर्दू का लफ्ज है, वो भी मैं यूज करना चाहती हूँ। तो किसी ने मुझे कहा था अंग्रेज की बच्ची, तो मैं उर्दू इसलिए से बता रही हूँ आप लोगों को, मुझे उर्दू भी आती है, दैट्स ऑल। अगर कोई कंफ्यूज है तो मैं एक्सप्लेन कर। एनीवे, कमिंग बैक टू माय एपिसोड टुडे। सो आज का एपिसोड है फीचरिंग समवन आई वेरी आई एडमायर अ लॉट। बहुत इनक्रेडिबल पर्सनालिटी हैं जिनको मैं बहुत अरसे से देख रही थी। मैं उनको इतना जानती नहीं हूँ, लेकिन मैं एक्चुअली इसीलिए मैंने कहा ये अच्छा बहाना है कि मैं उनसे कुछ बात करूं और कुछ उनसे भी सुनूं, वो ऐसे क्यों है। और ये मेरा डिलेमा है, हर सवाल हर जगह मैं कोशिश करती हूँ टू फाइंड आउट, टू डिस्कवर व्हाट मेक्स अस हु वी आर। वो कौन से इन्फ्लुएंसेस होते हैं हमारी जिंदगी में, और ऐसे चीजें होती हैं जो हमें हमारी जिंदगी की जर्नी को, हमारे रास्ते को शेप करती हैं। तो शीमा किरमानी इज माय गेस्ट टुडे। उनको बहुत जो लोग कल्चर से कनेक्टेड रहते हैं, पाकिस्तानी कल्चर से, और देख रहे हैं उन्हें, वो शी इज़ वेरी वेल नोन एज अ भरतनाट्यम क्लासिकल डांसर, एंड ऑल्सो इक्वली आई थिंक उनको सब जानते हैं एज अ वुमेन्स राइट्स एक्टिविस्ट। उन्होंने कल्चर को यूज किया, उनको अपने अपने आर्ट को यूज किया हमेशा टू क्रिएट एजुकेशन अराउंड अवेयरनेस अराउंड वुमेन्स राइट्स इश्यूज। और जिसकी वजह से उन्होंने क्रिएट किया एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जिसका नाम है तहरीक-ए निस्वां। कुछ डेकेड्स पहले की बात है, और इसमें थ्रू थिएटर, स्ट्रीट थिएटर और डिफरेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स के थ्रू उन्होंने हमेशा पीस के लिए, जिस मतलब इंडो पाक पीस के लिए भी इसमें कुछ प्रोजेक्ट्स किए, विमेंस इश्यूज पे भी किए, बहुत सारे इंटरेस्टिंग सब्जेक्ट्स पे उन्होंने काम किया है। एंड इनको प्राइड ऑफ परफॉर्मेंस भी गवर्नमेंट पाकिस्तान की दे चुकी है अवार्ड जस्ट रिसेंटली। शी इज़ अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग एंड पावरफुल वॉइस, एंड आप लोग इनसे ज़रूर आज मिलें और इनकी बातें सुने, एंड होप यू एंजॉय इट।
Well, let me just introduce myself before we really get into this. We've never really met in person, which is very strange. But I have I've looked up at you for so many years, and it's I've just been fascinated with everything that you've been doing, which it's just been um, all of it has been so inspiring for me because there are very few women who stand out that way and who choose to be loud in their resistance. You know that you cannot like इसमें कोई छुपने की चीज ही नहीं है कि हाँ मैं मतलब even for example you can't always see the resistance when you see them,
Yes.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
You can't see,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
तो वो चीज it was always fascinating to me, and I was always curious कि ये what are you doing exactly? कि आप कर क्या रही हैं? You know, because I mean, there's been, it I think there's been so few women that have been so visible in the way that you have been in your activism, and just to see that art could be used in that way,
Yes.
in
Yes.
such a visible form. I think that was really always really inspiring to me, and um, I'm a little bit scared of talking to you
Oh,
because I
no,
feel
no, please, don't be scared of. No, anyway, thank you for saying all of this. But actually, it's just that I have always felt that what I believe should be out there. I mean, there's no need to hide behind anything, and because how should I put it? Because I have so much. conviction in my beliefs, maybe, that it makes me be very forthright and open, and be out with all that I feel. And yeah, so that's how it has been. I mean, there's nothing.
I am curious though कि आप ऐसी क्यों हैं? आप ऐसी क्यों हैं?
Oh,
आखिर because there is a recipe to this, right? What were those? Who were those people, or who were those women who, maybe the women who inspired you, or if your parents were the influence on you in this way, कि the environment, what it was that made you feel so fearless? And I think because that is a anomaly in our society, to for women to be fearless.
no, I really, actually, I think it has really been the fact that I have such faith. Is not a word that I like to use, but for lack of another word, in my conviction. I mean, I believe that in my truth, and that is what has helped me go on being fearless, as you said, honest, open, outright, and out there with whatever I believe. But I mean, obviously, in today's society, one can't say everything that one believes. Because it's not easy, but
Well, I mean, I'm sure you're well aware
yes, yes,
every
yes.
sort of
But
chat.
but to be very honest, I think it is a lot to do with a lot of people who have influenced me in different stages of my life, starting with my parents, of course, who were they were very simple, very honest, very people with a lot of integrity, and so that was what I learned from them. My father was always very outspoken, at the cost of missing out on a lot of things, and I think I learned a lot of that from him. And then, of course, I learned a lot from my politics. I mean, when I started reading, when I started meeting those people like, such great people. I think I've been very privileged in the kind of, जिसे उर्दू में सोहबत कहते हैं, and to have met such incredible personalities, from Dr. Iqbal Ahmed to Raza Kazim to people like Dr. Nawal Al Sadawi and Arundhati Roy, and I mean, and then my own gurus. Uh, People who are really great people, Noam Chomsky, I mean, I've met Tariq Ali, Laila Khalid. I mean, people who are sort of really up there, and people in
Yeah,
the arts as
Real
well,
they're really
yeah.
change
change makers.
makers.
They are change makers. They are pioneers. They're just great intellectuals and great artists. And obviously, all that credit goes to my family, that they, at a young age, they took us to see the best of the artists. You can't believe it. I've seen Laurence Olivier on stage. I've seen, yes, Peggy Ashcroft on stage. I've seen Margot Fontaine on stage. So, I mean,
Oh,
Diana Rigg, I mean, all sorts of people in Shakespeare and on the stage in London, in Europe. So that a lot of credit goes to my parents for that, and I think the standards that they set for us was so high that one had to, manage to reach there. Could not have just been mediocre, be ready to be just mediocre in anything that we did. And that's what they taught us, that whatever you do, try to do your best in it.
What I'm curious about is, how do you see the connection between truth and joy? Because, like, to be authentic in yourself and your truth, to own it, and how does that? Because I'm trying to figure out how different women that I've been inspired by are arrive at that place where they own themselves and they own their truth, and that, to me, is where you find your joy.
Yeah,
Really.
absolutely. I love the way you've said this. I mean, it's when you are facing your truth and accepting it and fighting for it and putting it out there right in front and reaching out for it. That's the only joy that you can have. And I think I felt that. I mean, and I would say that
if you bring that into your personal life, then your politics follow from there. So, I mean, very early in life, I realized that whatever is personal has to be political, and whatever is political must be part of your everyday life. And that's when I decided that I do not want to marry in this elite class. And that was my first I felt my first revolutionary step, that I told my parents, no, I will not, I don't want to become a wife. In the housewife sense of the word, and and I just decided to actually step out of my home and make my own way at the age of 21. I and not for anything that my parents were doing against my wishes, but for what I wanted to do in my life. And I think that was my first truth, that I decided, no, I'm not going to marry any of these guys that my parents are bringing along, the proposals. I want to, at that point, I felt that I want to find my own truth. And that meant that I was looking to be a part of a movement that would create a society where there would be love, equality, respect for every human being, irrespective of class, irrespective of rank and position and all of that. And I think that is, I struggled with that. I just walked out of my home. I took my own decisions in my life. I did my own thing. I became, was financially independent, and whatever things that I got involved with were things that I felt passionately about. I felt passionately about wanting to bring a change in society. And I just felt, okay, I'm ready to do anything for that. And so that and then living on your own. I mean, and I'm talking about a long time ago. I mean, I'm talking about
Actually, yeah, that was something I was
early
also
70s,
I'm
when it
curious
was
about, because
unheard of.
it's never
A
been
unmarried young woman, starts living on her own, leaves privileges. I mean, I left a privileged life, and I decided to go and live in a working class area, uh, and work with the working class movement, with the labor movement in Karachi. And so that is what gave me all the strength. I mean, I found incredibly beautiful people who were ready to lay down their lives to bring about this change. That was so rare. People who I met 50 years ago, I'm still in touch with them. They still consider me, part of their family, and people who were from the working class. So it gave me a sense of identity. It also gave me great sense of confidence in myself. Okay, so I mean, to be able to manage your life by yourself in this city in those years, and I think that is what really helped me. And then, of course, it was my politics, my commitment to my ideology, if I may say so. And it is, I mean, it was a Marxist ideology, it was a left-wing ideology, and it was, and I mean, whether I do dance, whether I do theatre, I was looking at everything through the lens of a class struggle, through the lens of a feminist. Yeah, I mean, the word feminist had come to me when I was studying, and it hadn't come into Pakistan at all at that point. But it was actually books also. My exposure, our family was so always had books in the house, and I started reading a lot, and that, I think, gives us a lot of exposure. Whether it's reading fiction, it's reading other books, it's reading political books, it's reading history, all that gives you a lot of, you look at the world, your perspectives change, if I may say that.
No, I was actually, I mean, everything you're telling me is saying that you always had a sense that you are a nonconformist. Is that, did you see yourself? I mean, is that
after a certain age. I mean, as a young girl, I think when I was 15, 16, I was, at that point, I was not a nonconformist. But that is the time when I started breaking out of it, you know. I mean, at that time, I was kind of very different. I was my mother's daughter who followed my mother around and, you know, all the things that she liked, I liked. And I mean, I would say probably didn't have an identity of my own. But at that was the time, 15, 16 was the time that I started questioning. And I started breaking those walls, you know, what is expected of the eldest daughter in the family and all of that. And I said, no, I'm not doing these things. I started questioning beliefs, you know, this blind faith that I feel that, you know, religion provides. And I mean, I started questioning it all. And that questioning then led me to the search. And that search then led me in various different directions, you know, whether it was politics, sometimes it was Sufism, and sometimes it was just feminism. And over time, I realized, okay, you know, this is the kind of ideology, this is the perspective of life that I can, that I believe in. And what's you?
I think what I also find interesting is that, because, you know, feminism there's all sorts of facets to it, but what I found in you was, एक तो खैर there's a stereotype हमेशा से कि, you know, मतलब there is a stereotype. There's the activist and all, the feminist is always someone who is sort of, sometimes they step away from the outward femininity, you know, sort of enjoying or maybe displaying or being more feminine in that sense, that, you know, in a way that they feel like that's also an act of resistance to sort of just, you know, not comply with all the expectations of people. Okay, this is how a woman should be.
Absolutely. And I went through that stage. I mean, I went through the stage. I was growing up at the time where there was this, where the feminist revolution was taking place in the West, burn the bra wala revolution. And you don't have to wear makeup, and clothes and femininity is all wrong, you know. So that was a phase also I went through. But then I realized when I came back to Pakistan, and I felt one can be feminine as well. And there is, you know, the feminine beauty is something that is so beautiful. Why should we throw that out of ourselves, you know? And so and so I started, I mean, I see no harm in dressing up. I see no harm. I mean, I think I started finding that our search is actually for beauty. You know, and you see beauty in so many different ways, you know. There's beauty in being in happiness. There's beauty in nature. There's beauty in the female form and trying to look even more better. So I felt, you know, our feminism, the Eastern feminism we should incorporate that into it. I don't want to be like a man and dress up like a man. I mean, we are against the kind of values that men have. So we are fighting against those values.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to imitate or what men do.
I think it's that equal but different.
Yes, equality is
That's
one
what
thing, but difference, aggressive male qualities is not something that we admire. We say that even men should get rid of those values, na? Matlab of aggression, of violence, of brutality, of force. They should also become more delicate, more.
Again, you're striving for harmony and beauty as a man or as a woman, right? That's basically, yeah. And that's what I think Western feminism,
Yeah,
मतलब वही,
now
you know what
it's
I
a
mean?
little
कि
different.
इसमें ये चीज़ थोड़ी सी लूज हो जाती थी.
And I think
And that's what confused people also, I suppose.
yes, and I think if we also look at our cultural heritage, we look at the whole concept of mysticism, you know, and we see that those who were the Sufi saints, they were actually very feminine and they were almost feminist in their approach to life. No? And so if we can incorporate that aspect in ourselves, I think then you create another dynamics in the whole concept of the worldview.
I wonder if you think that we actually, well, after having lived through so many things, do you think that we actually get wiser with age?
I wish we did.
You think we really learn?
Well, I mean, you.
I am trying to
after
explore
years,
कि
there are.
I mean, your life's experiences do make you understand maybe a lot of things or accept a lot of things and give you the patience to bear with a lot of things. So that is, in a sense, wisdom also, na? And yes, of course, I mean, I think you do get wiser with age, definitely, because I think experience is wisdom, है ना? So
hopefully, yeah. If you're lucky, you get wiser.
yeah, you get the relationships that you have had. They give you other perspectives of life, and yeah, I would say that yes, definitely, age makes you wise.
Do you think that you were um, afraid of things more when you were younger than when you are, I mean, now at this stage of your life? Do you think that, because I feel like women, I feel like I'm also, now that I'm in my mid 40s, that I'm actually feeling more excited about saying what I feel, and not really getting so scared. I love that about a lot of the older women that I've met. Like even, I love spending time with the grandmothers and so on, because वो इतने मजे की और इतनी, filterless हो जाती हैं.
I think what I would say is that there was a phase in one's life where one was ready to do anything. When you're so passionately committed to a cause, then then that cause does make you fearless, as you see, where people who are involved in the movements, which in revolutionary movements, they're ready to do anything now for that movement. So there were times where at that. And then after that, over the years that I've lived, I mean, I've faced so many traumas, so many ordeals in my life that now it feels like, I mean, what should I be afraid of? Now I don't really feel that there's anything to be afraid of because, at a younger age, you fear being raped, for instance. You fear that, what will happen when I become a mother? How will I raise my children? So all those things that's when you're saying with age, what happens. So I think all those things with age, you've gone through all those things. You've faced them. You've struggled along. You've fought your battles in a sense. And you've reached a stage where you fought a lot of battles. And so that gives you an inner strength. That ठीक है, one can now face anything that comes one's way. But also, I think age also makes you afraid of for a lot of things because one's environment changes. And
Yeah, actually, that was something I was also thinking about. What do you think are the, as an older woman in society in Pakistan now, how do you see, I mean, what sort of challenges do you think there are for older women, especially for someone who's living like in your way, in an independent way, choosing a different path?
the basic for somebody like me, a single woman who's led a life which has been very open and very transparent and not been into making money for myself, things that I can fall back on. I've just always done what I thought was right. My vision was never, okay, I need to collect money. My interests were not having cars and clothes and big houses or anything like that. Now I just don't, those things don't bother me anymore. But I think with age for single women, the biggest problem living in Pakistan, probably I would say, is loneliness. And, if you don't have relationships, it can become very tough. And in Pakistan, it's not easy for women of a certain age to continue relationships, unless you get into a marriage, which is then another scene, which I don't want to get into. Yeah. So, yes, for independent women, I think that is a big problem. But then, I mean, I think, looked at it because I have so many kids. I mean, all my students. I don't have children. I
Bilkul.
decided not to have children in my life because I just felt I never found myself ready to have children. I just felt, there's so many kids in the world. Why do I have to have my own? I mean, yeah. So I am actually.
I mean, of course, that's also a very different path. to
Yes,
choose.
yes. But I'm
I
surrounded by young people because of teaching. I'm teaching dance, and I work in the theater, so I am surrounded by young people constantly. So I'm in touch with them, and they sit with me. They're around, and this is an open space for them to come in and out and all of that. So I don't really miss the fact that I don't have children. There are a lot of people used to say to me, "Tapitam, when you grow old, what will happen? Who's going to look after you?" I see so many of my friends
yeah,
who got
वो
so
तो
many
वैसे there are no
children.
guarantees in life.
Yeah, who have so many children and they're still alone. So,
हाँ, मतलब alone तो
but-
नहीं. Yeah, I think we have to.
yeah, so I think
That's part of the
and
wisdom.
I think that's the final thing, that to learn to be by yourself is, I think, important. To pace yourself, you face your life, to face your weaknesses, your desires, everything, and understand, this is how it is, and this is how it's going to stay.
I think that's an amazing place to. I mean, that's really exactly what I'm trying to. It's like I'm trying to solve the mystery of life.
Oh, well.
I think I'm trying to figure out what is my next phase going to be like. I think this is what these conversations that I'm having are about. How I need to learn from amazing women that I have been
But
looking at.
what I find the most important thing, which I'd like to share with you, and I think that is is the art that I'm involved with. I mean, when you're part of even a moment of creativity, that is what makes you fearless. The creativity makes you fearless. Your art makes you fearless, and that is an amazing feeling. And and that gives you all the strength. And that gives you motivation to continue living. That takes you away from depression. I mean, I think that has been, in a sense, my companion, my art. That, art has been a companion and a solace, a space where you find pleasure and where you find relaxation, and where you find that you can delve into your creative potential and, bring it out and be happy with it and feel that you've created something meaningful, So I think the art has given me all the strength. I mean, and finally, that question that we started with, what makes you feel? I think it's art, it's creativity in art and involvement with the art that has given me, made me fearless, given me strength. And also, it's a therapy.
हाँ
It's a therapy because it's a catharsis, and it's a focus that it gives you within. And especially dance, music, these arts, they really do give you a kind of a focus within yourself. A space that you find in yourself where you can be comfortable in your body and your mind and your, the body-mind connection and all of that. And I think that is so important. So I think the brutal world, one can only find solace and strength in art.
Thank you. I appreciate you making the time, because this is part of my journey, and I wanted to learn from you. And thank you so much for sharing that with me. I really appreciate it. I'm so honored.
Thank you, Nariman, for giving me this opportunity. No, I'm so happy. It's my pleasure. And
Thank you.
lovely. And
I would love to
one day we can maybe in person continue this conversation.
Yes, don't you come to Karachi?
Not as much as I want to. Maybe next year, inshallah. Hopefully.
You then.
Yeah, I would love to see you. Thank you. Thank you for your time.